Welcome, welcome. My name is Trish. Thank you so much for joining me today for the World Event Predictions for October 2025. Can you believe it's the end of the year already? So how fast this year has gone. So I'm this month going to be using both decks. You can see the Forecaster Oracle as well as the Predictions Oracle. So I'm going to see how these decks play together. So we're going to take a look at what's coming up around the world, the collective energy, and the events that's making news or headlines over the month of October. Instead of going through the things that happened in September, and I'm going to be putting them, I think, in the community page. Now, a lot of the stuff at the beginning that I did in the predictions reading, it all happened very quickly within 2 weeks of September. So then I did a second reading to do the last part of September with the forecast. I actually haven't followed up on to see if any of those happened or if the reading is completed yet for September. Today is September the 26th, and I hope to get this reading up within the next couple of days, but it will be active from the day that I do this reading. So hopefully I'll try and get this reading up tomorrow, Tuesday. Actually, it's going to be a couple of days before I get this reading up. So let's get into the reading and see what's happening for October 2025 predictions. Welcome back. Let's go through some of the cards on the table. From my little deck, I've got Russia. So Russia back in the headlines. Tension and chaos around Russian energy. Now there is also explosive situation down the bottom. I think that's what it will be involving Russia over the month of October. There is strategies though around now, whether this is strategies being put in place from other countries to put a hold on certain things because we've got the waiting card there, or whether there is strategies from Russia or Putin to put a hold on something or wait, or he's just being strategic in what he's doing. So let's get in to see what else is going on here. We're still seeing rebellions and uprisings around the world in the month of October. These escalate, they could be escalating and really heating up over the month of October. We could see some fires around the world also on the news in the month of October. Now I've got a terror response, living in fear. So a situation that is leaves people in a state of fear. I'm hearing economic tension, like as I'm touching this card, it is sitting below, which is why I revealed it sitting there, because I was hearing it's somehow connected to economic challenges. So we're going to be seeing something on the news around economic challenges that leave people in a state of survival mode or living in fear energy of just survival based on economic challenges coming up. Now, maybe this is what the economic or the rebellion, uprising could be connected to, all down the side here. But we do see it could also be the explosive situations. It does say returning to normal. It says, if I can put that on the screen, it does say explosive situation returns to normal. And we do see a period of waiting or pause, which could be related to the explosions. If you know what I mean, I don't want to use the words that we're not supposed to say, but explosive situation. We've got donations and offerings for the effects of a certain or two cyclones. So there's it's more than one is what I'm hearing. So a cyclone damage, that's where donations or offering are required. It could affect the food supply areas. It could also just indicate that help is needed. So it's like aid for cyclone damage, because cyclone's on here twice in both decks. This is from the prediction deck. This is from the forecaster deck. I kept all of the natural disasters in both decks so they could stand alone and read alone. This is upheaval and chaos, so showing more chaos. I see the chaos card down here. So we're seeing more chaos in the month of October. This can be from cyclone damage, but it can also be just from the uprising, the tension, the escalating or things heating up, the explosive situations down here, the economic challenges down here. We've got a cognitive dissonance down here. I will read further into this one, but we've got all this quite tense energy on the table is what I'm getting at here. There's a lot. This whole section is tension. It's more of the same. It's more natural disasters. It's more political debates and heating up tension between countries. It's more heating up with people. There's so much tension, and I feel it's just escalating. Now, this is affecting global impacts. It affects many. Whatever this situation is, whether it is to do with the heating, rising rebellion, tension, or whether it's to do with the terror response, it has a global effect. Whether it's to do with the explosive situation, there's a global impact, or it's the natural disaster here around the world, global impact. So it affects many. Now, what it is saying is that the energy of October will be felt by many. You'll feel it in different ways. Some countries will be affected by air turbulence, being cyclones, tornadoes, the whatever your country calls. We call them cyclones here in Australia. Everybody, there's different ways of saying that. So this is saying that everyone's going to feel the chaos in a different way. These things are developing now. So this must be the cyclones that are starting. We must be in cyclone season in the Northern Hemisphere because these things are developing now. It's already in motion, but they were going to see some damage and some aid that is needed from the upheaval and chaos caused by these cyclone energies that are coming in. And I call them cyclones because that's what we call them in Australia. But it affects many. This global impact card says that many are going to be affected. Now, other people are still affected by the rising tensions and the rebellion, the people making a stand. People are going to be affected by this new terror response, terror energy, people in fear now, whether that's a distraction or whether it's somehow connected to economic challenges. This economic challenge, I do feel, fits in here. It also fits up in here with the uprisings and economic challenges, but I do feel it's also connected to the terror response, living in fear, living in a state of survival, but also something that may be coming around terror response here. An explosive situation does say it returns to normal, but there's a level of cognitive dissonance. So it's these two cards are quite distressing, actually. That sense of fear and worry and dread, but also not being able to wrap your head around what's going on in the world, why there's so much craziness in the world. Hopefully it does return to normal, because I'm seeing the return to normal. So I really do hope that that happens. But I do see still some escalating tension on the cards for October. September and August have been quite challenging and difficult, but the energy still feels to be already in motion, already developing. There's a little bit more of the same coming. What's new that's coming, I see something around entertainment industry, being actors, players, playing their part to distract us from other things. So we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that. There might be something going on in the entertainment industry that really just takes our attention away from whatever else that we're got our attention on. So be aware of that in October. That's the entertainment industry, and something that happens causes a distraction from whatever else is going on here. I see something with travel, that could be planes, commercial planes, something going on around commercial planes, affected many. It could just be information surge, data dump. It could be like a hack, data breach, something that goes on in the cyber world that affects travel plans. So that could be more of that coming up in the month of October. But it could also be something coming up, something we hear about in the news around a commercial plane in the month of October. Now, information surge, data dump, we're seeing a lot more information coming in around a certain topic, headline. Now, it could be to do with something that involves actors or players, or it could actually be somebody in the media, somebody in the spotlight, somebody that's popular celebrity type person. It could even be like a social media celebrity type person. Doesn't have to be the old-fashioned style of actors. When I say entertainment, it could just be an influencer of some sort. And we're seeing this energy here. There's distractions going on with this energy. So they might not be the distraction themselves. There might be distractions to avoid something coming out, or truth coming out in this situation. Now we've got the eruption threshold. Again, we've got earthquakes and seismic activity being the volcanoes erupting. So we've still got a lot more of that. There's been quite heavy energy around September for volcano eruptions, but I do feel there's more of those coming in the month of September. So what do I feel that's different to the normal? More of the same, because we do have more of the same. We've got this uprising, more countries getting involved, bigger. Now, what is underlying this energy? It's more of a collective energy that's coming through. It's over different things, but it's more, what it feels to be more like a collective wave. So it's an energy that comes in that stirs people and heats them up, and they want to make a stand. So whether they're making a stand for what's being advertised, as far as on the narrative, you can see here this narrative card over here, disruption to the narrative, or whether it's something more behind the scenes. This is where I feel this cognitive dissonance or this narrative disruption is coming in, because these things are happening, but the narrative is being shown in a different way. Now, whether we're seeing this uprising energy, or whether it's something to do with the celebrity actors, social media people, the people in entertainment industry, or the people that are in, on your screens, the people that you watch, that kind of thing, whether that energy is being distracted. And because we've got disruption, distraction, the narrative. The narrative is not what it is. This is an energy that I'm picking up. So the energy is not what it seems. It's not what the true energy of this situation is. It's being rewritten as something else. So the information surge, data dump is sitting next to cognitive dissidence, is showing that the narrative is being rewritten, and we're seeing a lot more information coming out about certain topics or situations involving people in the media, people in the spotlight, people on our screens, people we see all the time. We're going to start to see a lot more information coming out. Now that's going to really put people in a spin, because they don't know what's real, what's not real. It's going to be unbelievable what comes out, and it's like, is this for real? I just don't believe this is true, because it's got this narrative disruption. So it disrupts the way we think about it, whether it means it's an actual distraction and the narrative is being played out in a certain way. So this is the players playing a narrative a certain way, or whether it means we're just going to be seeing a lot more information coming out about a certain person, and then people are just really coming to terms and dealing with this change or this cognitive dissonance. Like, is this for real? Is this real? I can't get my head around this situation. But we're going to be seeing a lot more information about a certain person that is in the entertainment industry, that's in the mainstream, that's in the spotlight, I might say. That's probably the best way to say it. Now they're trying to distract that information from coming out. They're in crisis mode. You can see hidden under there. They're in crisis mode about this information or data dump. So they're really trying to work out what distractions they can use, whether that's a terrorist response, economic challenges that put people in survival mode, whether that's around explosions and playing out that energy. Probably wanting to try to avoid this, even though I see this getting heightened. This is probably what we're going to see in the start of the month, because it normally works that way with these readings. We normally see these early ones happen very quickly in the month. So this could happen as early as end of September into early October. We're going to be seeing more heated up tension or more heated energy around the uprisings of the people, the collective energy, people coming together. The mood changes to be hotter. It's hotter energy. So people, tempers flare, that kind of energy. And maybe even terrorism acts here, maybe energy that's Whether it's true or a distraction or a narrative, who knows? But it is showing it's sitting down below this energy. So maybe there's something that happens there to maybe try to stop this energy, but it really just makes the people angry. It's a sense of heating, anger energy coming here, chaos energy, upheaval energy. We've got the chaos card over here. And as I said, it's a strategy is what I was picking up on. So maybe this was a strategy to try and fix this problem, but it's actually made it a lot worse. So that's new that I'm seeing coming in. That energy changes a little bit for some reason. Something happens that causes a shift in this collective energy. It still continues to happen, but it heats up. It becomes more tense, more angry, more tension. It's hotter energy, more chaos, more upheaval. Starting to develop now, it says. Okay, I think that I got everything. Now we do see economic challenges. Maybe those situations may be returning back to normal. Wouldn't that be fantastic? If we see the economic challenges, maybe there's some policies that brought in to try and get the economy back to normal. Energy crisis could be related to electricity. The energy crisis, it could be in the news, could be situations, economic and energy. They're so far apart from each other on the spread, but they're both in the media. So whether that's the likelihood of it being connected because they're so far apart, but I am still seeing that energy crisis and economic challenge, they are connected, but by this spread, they're so far apart. So it may be different storylines altogether. Let's pull one more card. And I'm so happy that I pulled one more card because it says have an optimistic approach. Improvements come, but it does, and this is so important that this card has come out. Spirit is so amazing. I wanted to start at the end of the tense readings. I wanted to start to get you just to focus your energy back into your own inner energy and what you put out into the world. So take this time now just to breathe a beautiful bubble of energy around you, energy of protection. You're really protecting your energy here. You're not letting your energy be sabotaged by what is going on in the world, the collective energy. So go within, center yourself, protect yourself in a beautiful bubble of energy. Just visualize that around you, white energy, gold energy, or just a bubble of protection. And within that, you find your peace, you find your contentment, you find your love energy, your bliss, what brings you joy in your life. You have to focus on that energy because pushing that into the world as a light worker helps to help some of this tense energy balance it, really balance the energy. So it's so interesting they made me pull that extra card because I did want to start doing that. I wanted to start bringing in at the end of it tense readings to show you, please don't focus on the tension and I know it's around, this stuff is happening, the cards are on the table and they're all tense because there's tension and there's a lot of collective energy, which is very difficult and upheaval and chaotic. So it's there, it's going to continue to happen, but how we respond to that and our approach, we control that. That's part of we control that. That's the one thing we do have control over. So don't be in this terror energy. Don't put yourself here in this confused energy or this state of fear-based energy. Put yourself in this energy. Have an optimistic approach. Situation will improve when we all start doing this, putting out our positive vibes. I know that sounds woo-woo, but it's just protecting your own energy from this influx of heavy energy because that is weakening your immune system. It's weakening your energy. So it's really important to protect your energy and really focus on the optimistic things or the situation getting better, put those vibes out into the world and really just focus on what you enjoy in your life because that energy is going to help balance some of this turbulent energy that's taking place in the collective. So thank you so much for joining me and thank you, Spirit, also for reminding me to do that. I think it's very important and we'll see how we go with some of these readings and I'll see you again for the November one. So let's see how we go. Drop comments, let me know. Please do if there's something happens in your area that because I don't always get to see what happens in the news in your area. If any of these things make sense to you in the month of October, please do put a comment in for me, because that really helps me having to find things and go back and find the headlines. So if it happens, please just remember to come back in and just pop it in for me. That would be really wonderful. And thank you all so much. I'll see you again soon.